I convinced my boyfriend to open up our relationship, but he's sleeping with lots of women and I'm afraid he'll leave me. My boyfriend is 19 and I am 20. I've been dating my boyfriend for almost 3 years now. We started dating in high school. Our sex life was really amazing, but recently it had begun to lose its spark. My best friend at the time told me that a way to fix the relationship is by opening it up. So, I sat down with my boyfriend and explained what an open relationship was. I was really excited because it was a new experience. My boyfriend obviously wasn't really big on the whole idea. Literally a week of convincing and explaining the pros and cons to him, he finally agreed. It did seem like he didn't want to, as he said it will permanently change our relationship. So, we opened the relationship and it's been a few months, and I have been sleeping with one of my coworkers, no feelings or anything like that involved. And it has been fun, but I miss sleeping with my boyfriend and honestly wanted to end the open relationship and go back to monogamy. However, now I found out my boyfriend is, first off, sleeping with way more people than I am. And the biggest slap in the faces is a lot of these girls are from the same high school we went to. And the biggest slap of all is that my boyfriend is now in love with open relationship concept, and I really want to go back to monogamy. I also feel really betrayed that he would sleep with people we went to high school with and girls that he told me not to worry about. Best comments. Well, that backfired on you, didn't it? I realize that, but I want to go back to monogamy, but feel like my boyfriend is loving this new opening up relationship too much. Take it from someone who F up once and never will again, it doesn't work almost the time. As I like to say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I like this saying at the end. It completely fits my life. Was this coworker in your sights before you pushed for an open relationship? We were just friends, and I trusted him a lot. I explained our whole situation, and he was iffy at first, but ultimately decided to be my friend with benefits. Just friends. So, you already knew the coworker, thought he was hot, convinced your boyfriend to an open relationship to have him, he wasn't as good as you thought, and now you want to go back. Does that about sum it up? No, the sex with him was great, I won't lie, but it just didn't feel the same as sleeping with my boyfriend. You miss my main point. You asked for an open relationship specifically to get with this guy, guilt-free, right? No, opening the relationship wasn't specifically to sleep with my coworker. How long was it after you boyfriend agreed to an open relationship before you brought it up to the coworker? Like 3 weeks-ish?
My wife said open marriage or divorce, so we opened it. But now she says I'm having an emotional affair with this woman I've seen a lot. My wife basically forced me into a temporary open marriage 6 months ago. We recently both turned 50 and have been together since college. She, I guess as part of a midlife crisis, was lamenting the fact she had never been with any other men. So proposed a temporary open marriage so that we could both experiment and then close our marriage for good. Obviously, very few men will take the news, I want to sleep with other men, well, and so I refused at first. But she made it clear that if I didn't agree, we'd have to separate, and so I went along with it. After all, it's going to go both ways, so what the hell? Maybe I'll enjoy it? Besides, it was only going to be a temporary arrangement. So, she starts matching with guys on Tinder, going out to bars, etc. I don't know how successful she was, as we had a rule of keeping it out of the house, and quite frankly, I don't want to know. I ended up matching with lots of younger girls who were into older guys. They were very attractive, but the sex was boring and not enjoyable. I mean, all of it was basically them just lying there and me doing all the work. Not nice. Anyway, at this point I figure I should just see some escorts since the experience is probably going to be more enjoyable. So, I ask my wife if it's okay for me to see some escorts instead. She agrees, provided 1. I always use protection, and 2. I keep my spending to a minimum. Now, to cut a long story short, I ended up becoming a regular client to this one girl. She's a college student working to pay her student fees/living costs. We kick it off and her fees become less and less as time goes on until we're actually going on dates and stuff, and no money is involved anymore. It wasn't really a single moment. Over time, I just stopped being a client and started being something else to this girl. Wife finds out after reading my phone and is accusing me of having an emotional affair with this girl. This girl in turn finds out that my wife knows and is telling me to go steady with her, saying she'll quit sex work for me. I know I should choose my wife, but honestly, I find myself thinking. 1. Our kids are all grown up, so they're no longer a consideration in staying together. 2. I'm not sure if I can still love my wife the same way after she coerced me into an open relationship so she can sleep around. 3. Despite the age difference, I get along with this girl so much more. Her body/youth is obviously a plus too. Any advice? Best comments. If you don't mind me asking, do you and your wife still sleep together? Does your wife want to stop sleeping around with other people? If it's a no to the 2 questions above, I would say based upon your last 2 statements, you may have subconsciously made up your mind. Our sex life died the moment we opened the marriage. Every time I tried, she would tell me to find a girl, etc. And no, she still sleeps with other people. Your wife doesn't care about you or your marriage enough to finally close your marriage. Even though she feigns outrage at the thought of your emotional affair, her rage is insincere. I'd start the divorce proceedings if I were you. I'm sure you'd find worser texts on her phone. LOL, I asked to see her phone during our argument and she refused. So I wouldn't be surprised. You just answered your own dilemma. Besides, your wife was ready to separate the moment you would not agree to let her sleep around. Sounds like she made peace with that separation idea anyway, and she's not sleeping with you. What gives? Sounds like she did not get what she hoped for from this arrangement.